Welcome back to the Mastering Runeterra podcast with Jay and Bay, the #1 source for competitive Legends of Runeterra news and information. If you're looking for the best decks to play right now, be sure to check us out on Twitter at Master Runeterra or in our Discord. And if you want to take the next step in leveling up your game, check out our Runeterra team on Patreon, where we do weekly learning calls and one-on-one coaching. Now strap in and grab yourself some Poro snacks, because we are about to start Mastering Runeterra.
Welcome back to the Mastering Runeterra podcast with Jay and Bay. We got a fantastic show for you guys today. New meta, new life, new world, Jesus, new revival. Before we jump into anything, though, gotta thank all of our subscribers, all of our patrons. Thank you guys so much for supporting us. Seriously, I know I say at the beginning of every podcast, seriously, thank you so much. Words. I can't thank you enough. We're always trying to give back more, do more things for the community, show our appreciation. We have a $500 tournament coming up this Saturday, which is actually coming out of our pocket, but we put on the production, And seriously, I don't know how to say thank you more and to make it more sincere, because everyone fucking says that. You're like, yeah, sure. Of course you're thankful. We're giving you money. It's great. But seriously, thank you guys so much. We love you. We love the community. We love what we're doing. And so we really appreciate all the support. And if you're not subscribed, what the fuck is wrong with you? Go to the website, click the fucking thing, get yourself ad-free viewing, and fucking invite-only tournaments, and a weekly learning call for 2 hours, both of us, where we go over everything to do in the meta and how you should be winning. A bunch of other freaking awesome stuff. Get your butt over there. Okay, let's just jump into it. Bay, you've been playing a lot of Runeterra.
A little bit. Way more than I have for the last week.
Yeah. Same. I played basically none for like the rest of the patch.
I played literally none. I forced myself to stay away. Every time I'd log in, I'd get like really tilted. So I was like, all right, I'm just not going to play. So I played Teamfight Tactics. I read books. I did like literally anything else than play Runeterra. But yeah, the patch is here. And man, it is nice to just like play the game and just enjoy the game.
Yes.
This patch was a huge breath of fresh air.
And yeah, as we're going to get into, Kai'sa is still, I thought it was going to be dead.
I did not.
I thought Kai'sa was going to be dead. And what I didn't realize is that all the other decks got pushed down so much that it's like Kai'sa was here, other decks, they just all dropped down. Kai'sa's still probably the best thing you could be doing. But
for now,
now much more manageable.
Yeah.
There's a lot more counterplay to the deck. The thing is that we're just trying to figure out what other decks are also tier 1. That seems to be the big question mark. It's like, what else can rise up? And then also it feels like there's definitely going to be counters to the deck. But the deck can be countered. Whereas before it was like, if they high rolled you, like you just died.
If they mid rolled you, you just died.
Yeah.
There's nothing you can do about it. Yeah, so basically there's like a power vacuum right now, and the Kai'sa deck is very well built, very well tuned. So it's continuing to put up a bunch of numbers. Like all the people who hit rank 1 in the last couple of days were playing Kai'sa. It's just like super, super strong. I haven't been too worried about finding the other best deck. I do need to like start on that because I would like to finish top 10 on the ladder to secure my spot at Worlds. But like what I've been playing is obviously just like all Ionia stuff. I just love Ionia, man. It's nice to be able to play it again. So like I was all day today on stream. I played Ken and Ezreal. Good old machine gun Kenny. And I was winning. I gained like 100 LP. It was super fun.
How much have you noticed, if at all, has the buff mattered on Kennen?
A lot.
Yeah, right? I thought
like,
so.
Does it fix the deck's problems? No. But like Kennen kills things now. He kills like a lot of things. Yeah. And like 5 HP units can be taken down with like an Ezreal's Mystic Shot and a Kennen. Like it's a big change.
The difference between 2 damage and 3 damage is huge. Just like we were talking about the buff to karma, the difference between having 3 health and 4 health is huge because a lot of things deal 3 damage. Nothing deals 4 damage, really. Like you talked about, you have to go to 6 mana, start dealing, with something with 4 toughness. And so, the same is true between 2 toughness and 3 toughness. The Kennen spell being able to kill like much more significant. Lots of champions have 3 toughness. Lots of important units have 3 toughness. Like you say, combining things together. Now you can take down like 5 or 6 toughness units with like combination of other spells. I'm glad to see that one's actually doing some work.
It's nice. I missed those days. Like, I mean, this should be no surprise to anyone who's ever watched me play anything, but like, I thought Ari Kennen, a lot of people are going to disagree, but like Ari Kennen go hard days, that is like peak Runeterra. That is how I like to play card games. Is I want most of the interaction on the stack. We're tossing spells back and forth. We're jockeying for position. That's how I like to play card games. So like getting able to do that again, even a little bit, is like really nice because it's been pretty board based and you can't really like the top decks have had spells, but you can't interact with them, right? The top decks have been Turbo Thralls, have been Kai'Sa, have been Papercraft Dragon shenanigans, like Rite of Negation's a thing. Like it was just, you just like couldn't really interact on the way that I wanted to. And so it made the game feel very like not fun for me. But yeah, basically all of that stuff got hit. It is so nice to just be able to like, just queue up a game with like a deck I really enjoy. I almost forgot how nice that is, where it's just like, I just get excited to play the next game. I lose one and I'm like, oh, we'll get them next time. Right. And then I click in and I'm excited to get into the next one. It feels so good.
Yeah. It's night and day when you actually enjoy playing the game. Whereas like I'm currently playing Kai'Sa Akshan and I don't mind it because I've been winning and the games are a little bit more interesting. Yeah. It's, I'm not just running them over. There's some counterplay.
Akshan's a cool card.
Akshan is a cool card, actually matters. Mm-hmm. It's still, it's not as nice as playing Ionia decks. Let me tell you, I'm not still just loving it. I'm enjoying winning and also just like kind of playing the game and my opponent and I interacting with each other. And that's nice. It still feels kind of like work. The work doesn't feel as bad if you're winning, of course. True. Yeah. Anytime you're losing with a deck that you don't absolutely love, though, it's like pulling teeth. It's like, I got to get up the ladder, but I don't really want to be here. Let's go through some of the decks. So Darkness apparently is the most played deck right now.
Yep. That people love Darkness.
Yeah, I don't dislike Darkness. I like Darkness. I actually like Darkness quite a bit. I have like a bias. No, I like Darkness, and I like playing control decks like Darkness, where it's like I'm gonna kill all your stuff. All my units generate value.
Eventually,
and
it's
like it's just fun. The problem I have with Darkness is I've seen too many games where Darkness has it in the bag, and then like some weird sequence of events happens, and Darkness is only able to cast so many spells so quickly, and it just ends up like losing a game that it had no business losing. One of the most famous examples ever is like the one with What Am I Lost, like I don't know how many tournaments ago against I want to say it was Yordle in Arms, where like he had like 3 cards in hand and like a what's her face Senna in play, and the opponent had like 1 card in hand, no board or
they
something.
Were like runner, like Mayor, Telescope into this and this. Yeah,
exactly. Yeah, just some ridiculous sequence of events, and stuff like that happens all the time. I won against a Darkness player that was like Shen emoting me because like I was playing Kai'Sa, and like my board was empty on like turn 5 or something, and they had like a Vigar in play leveling up, and it was like it looked pretty over. but they made some mistakes where they were like a little too cautious or like not greedy enough and just like weren't casting things when they should have been and just had a handful of stuff. And I just like got them with I like top deck the right and just pushed through Xaxes for damage and got them. It's stuff like that. Like with darkness decks, you have to play perfect and like, I don't know, it's like next level perfect. You have to like not only deal with what's on the board, but you have to like really think into the future about like the different things that can happen. Like, I don't know, games kind of slip away from you. So that's the reason I'm hesitant to bring darkness to like seasonals.
So
even if it's very good.
It does feel like most of those could have been mitigated by the darkness player usually. Like a lot of times, like the deck does lose sometimes because it's clunky, right? If your hand's like Twisted Catalyzer, Vagar, Senna, it like looks good on paper, but like when all your darkness costs 3 mana, a lot of times a competent opponent on the other side of the board will basically like take a couple turns kind of off to like set up, because a lot more decks are more efficient, more mana efficient. So you like, you kind of pitter patter here and there. You throw a little something, kill their Catalyzer, threaten their Vagar a little bit, and then one turn you go bam, 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 deal with this, right? And like you catch them, they're just like they just can't do enough in one turn, and that's usually how you like get them. That does happen, but I feel like a lot of the times I've seen decks hit their outs against darkness, it could have been played around by the darkness player, but like that's where the skill in the deck comes from, is like shutting these doors on your opponent, right? Like, okay, now I no longer 100%. Lose to runner this. Now I no longer lose to this into this. If they have these 3 cards, I no longer lose into this if I take this line. Like that kind of stuff. You have to be thinking about that. So yeah. And honestly, like a lot of people really hate darkness. It's like someone did a Twitter poll.
It's the no fun deck, right?
It's no fun
like
deck.
Kill all your stuff.
Deck. And a lot of decks, I get it. Like it's not very fun. It sucks when your stuff gets killed or whatever. But I don't know. I think decks that like can not interact, but like decks that have some game against it, right? Like, maybe you have some counter spells or your bounce spells, some way to protect your units, be it your sharp sights, your bastions, whatever, right? Your Rite of Negation, your Hourglass, like anything like that. I think those matchups against like darkness can be so fascinating. Like I think Arcane Go Hard versus darkness was the most interesting matchup in the history of the game. I think it was like so deep, so complex, just fun.
Yeah, where you're just battling back and forth.
You're just jockeying.
Like a levels game.
Yeah,
jockeying
just like
position.
Poking. Yeah.
So I'm not saying that darkness is not good.
Mm-hmm.
I'm saying that I don't have the time to put in to learn each matchup to that level that I would want to be at, because there's so many different matchups, and each one of them you need to know, like we're talking about all the different sort of outs and runners and things at the top and ways to play them. And I think that's why we saw it do well at Worlds. It was played, I forget who that player was that came in second. And he played it very, very well. So yeah, I'm not trying to like tell anyone to not play it by any means. That's just for me personally. I'm like, don't get like, because I'm gonna be like, oh, I love this deck, I love it, and I'm gonna smash people left and right. But then seasons are gonna come up, and like I'm gonna make 1 or 2 mistakes here or there,
good. Yeah.
And that's like, that's you can't do that. You just can't be doing that stuff. But that's the most played deck. It's doing quite well. It's got a 55% win percentage. Next up, we got Pirates, but with Twisted Fate. This was a deck that was crushing right before the patch.
The last couple of days of the patch, yeah. It's like a very draw heavy Pirates deck. It's more of a turn 7 deck, less of a turn like 5 or 6 deck. Plays like I have Nagaboros and stuff like that, and the new 6 mana Rite of Smishy Smash, whatever that's called. That one, yep. And it is very powerful, but like I'm not an aggro guy, first of all. I'm not an aggro guy. I know, shocker. And the reason I want not an aggro guy, one, because I feel like it takes a lot of the agency from me, even if that's not true. I think aggro has a lot of agency. I just get to make less meaningful decisions per game when I play it. This one's a little bit different, but like it's just not the way I like to play the game. People who want to beat aggro like are going to beat aggro. That's just how it is. Like if if I show up with triple aggro to seasonals and someone decided they're not going to lose to aggro today, they're just not going to lose, right? Like you can beat them, but
Yeah, the problem is that there's not. So this Pirates deck, I think, is very good. I think it's really
agree.
good.
Very strong.
I played it a bunch, and it's a lot more fun, like you're saying, because you do have like there's a lot more interaction. Like going burst 2/2, draw 2, get in for extra damage feels so good.
Yep.
And so I think this deck is very good. The problem is with aggro decks is there's not enough of them that are good. So for
what's
instance,
your third deck?
The next one up on the list, actually, sorry, we have Mono Kai'sa that we'll come back to. But the next one, the fourth most played deck is Majiin, and I think this deck is garbage right now.
That deck's turbo
I think
bad.
I think there's other times when it's been better in the meta. Right now, though, like I don't know, I'm playing Kai'sa and I'm like kill that, play a Valor, kill your Annie for free, and like pick something else off, and it doesn't even like feel particularly close, and that's supposed to be like a good matchup, and maybe it is.
That deck crushes some decks. Like whenever I would play Ari Bard, I felt like pretty good into just about everything, and then you just lose so hard to Annie Jin. But if I played any other deck and I played against Annie Jin, I was like already counting my LP.
Yeah, so that's the problem I have with aggro, is that there's not enough other good aggro decks, and then the old like the matchups end up not being lining up right. But you want to play a ladder, you want to play some aggro. I think Pirates is fantastic.
Yeah, it's a good deck. It also like it could fit in if you don't have to have an aggro deck in an aggro lineup, right? I want to like kind of put that in there because like I think people get caught on this. This is not what we're discussing today at all, but people get caught on the idea of like their 3 decks in a lineup have to do the same thing in order to be synergistic, right? Like they all
by same thing you mean be aggressive.
Be aggressive. All 3 control decks, right? 3 combo decks. And that's not actually what you're looking for, right? Because like some decks will have just differing matchups even though they're kind of doing the same thing. And so what like you could see a lineup that's very tweaked to beat Demacia mid-range decks, Flock decks, Pirate aggro, and then something else, maybe even like a Ruination strategy, maybe a Darkness tech to beat Demacia. Like it is possible. It's not what I would choose, but like that's something you could do. That's a spot where it could fit in. I don't think its best spot is going to be the traditional Pirates Spiders X lineup. I don't think that's probably where it would be best slotted in seasonals. We'll see. We don't know yet. It's like day 1 of the patch.
Yeah, no, exactly. This reminds me of like what's his name? The Chem, who came in second at seasonals. I think of the last seasonals. He wrote a article on our website called "How to Use Stats," and he talks about this where he's like, you go look at the stats for like, oh, this matchup is good into this matchup, and he gives an example like Azirelia is good to Field the Rush.
Yeah,
it's like okay, and it's very good. He's like, but then you need to ask yourself why. Why is it very good? It's very good because you have cards like the Landmark that they can't remove, and then there's just their removal is
lines up
single point or whatever, and then you can just like throw things at them continuously. But if you were to like keep a 1-drop, 2-drop, 3-drop kind of hand, you're probably just going to play right into the removal and get blown out, and the matchup's not going to feel so good. And he was like, he went on to elaborate how now Azirelia plays the new 3-drop that makes your 1-drops
domination
get +1 power domination. He's like, so that matchup has gotten a little bit worse because like there's another card there that they just don't give a fuck about really because they're just going to avalanche that or play
they're happy to kill that. Yeah,
they're happy to kill that. Yeah, you spend your whole turn doing that. Cool, just Vile Feast that. So his what he's basically trying to say is you look at the stats and then think about why that's a good or bad matchup. What's happening there? And then obviously kind of test it out. It's the same with lineups. You're not just like jamming 3 aggro decks together or jamming 3 combo decks. It's why are these decks, in your lineup? What are they doing? What are they good against? What do they want to ban? You want those things to line up together.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's talk about Kai'sa. So Mono Kai'sa is 54% is the 3rd most played deck, and Akshan Kai'sa, which is the version I've been playing, I think you one of my, is the 9th most played deck. It's at 58.6%, which is a shit ton.
Currently slightly carried by its players.
Yeah.
People looking to climb, top players who are looking to get an edge, are playing this deck. And so I think it is slightly carried. I do think if you're looking to, like, if that's what you want to do, if right now you're like, I want to climb, I need that spot, I want that 7-2, I want that world's points, right? Like, Akshan Kai'Sa today is probably your best bet. In 4 or 5 days, I don't think it will be anymore. But right now, it's tuned, it's strong, and people are playing a lot of crap and take advantage of it.
I think it's going to be the linchpin of the format. I think what's going to happen is, like in many formats we've seen, like when Mono Shurima was the best, the rest of the format's going to start to warp around it. You're going to see Kai'Sa decks, and you're going to see decks that can at least go toe to toe with Kai'Sa, or prey on Kai'Sa, or
ignore it and beat everything else.
Yeah. But I think that's going to be, because typically there is a deck, and then the format starts to warp around that deck. And I think Kai'Sa is that right now. And we're going to see, basically, what happens is, if your deck just gets smashed by Kai'Sa, like, those decks all just go away. Those just fall off the ladder. And what you're left with is Kai'Sa decks, things that are crush Kai'Sa, and then things that are, like, kind of in the middle that can, like, hold their own, or maybe crush these other decks that are good against Kai'Sa. And I think that's what we're going to end up seeing. And I think that's going to be, I think Kai'Sa's going to be very popular come seasonals, because it is only a week away, which is absolutely, like, has not set into my brain at all.
Yep. Double Demacia X could be a very popular lineup. It's been a very popular lineup strategy for a really long time, especially when Demacia is one of the top decks. Something I want to talk about.
It's always solid.
It's just always solid, yeah. Something I want to talk about that isn't quite on the stats. It is, but it's not on the top. Bard decks basically gone. No one's even trying them right now.
That's not true. Bartolawi in 10th, 900 matches, 51% win rate.
Yeah, it's not too bad. Not too bad. It's still solid. It's still okay. Like, is it going to remain plus 50? I don't think so. I also think people are just going to find other things that they want to play more. Bartolawi's not exactly a fan favorite among most people.
How do you feel about this? That Bard is basically gone.
It's okay. I do think he got a bit over nerfed, but that's fine. Especially if we're going to see, like, some chime support in the future, then I think it's definitely fine. Not really worried about it. We saw a lot of Bard. I'm down to shake it up.
When Bard came out, I thought he was dumb. And then Bard became good. And I was kind of like, whatever. And then I started playing Bard, and I kind of liked it. Ari Bard especially. And also P&Z Bard.
Yeah.
And then I started just, like, really enjoying Bard. And I'm kind of sad now. I'm kind of... It was... I didn't think Bard was that overpowered. Bard was definitely good, for sure. Mm-hmm. I don't know. Had you hit Bird instead, maybe it would have been enough. Yeah, Bird, I think Bird was insane.
Bird's the best part of the deck.
Very, very good.
Absolutely.
Yeah. I didn't think that Bard was that overpowered, but I mean, there were a lot of Bard decks that were very good. Yeah. Long story short, I'm sad that I got hit this far down, because I would have liked to still play Bard decks. And I do hope that maybe they give him a buff in the future.
Yeah. Yeah, I get that. What's next? What's next on the list?
We got Heimerdinger Jayce.
Classic Dark Dong, or deck's still good. Deck's still good. Didn't get touched. Quite a few people were very upset that it didn't get nerfed, actually. Which surprised me, because, like, it had a very good seasonals performance, being in both finals lineups. It was just very strong. Third deck. You don't build your lineup around it or anything. And it was okay on ladder. It's been okay on ladder for a few seasons. It's been, like, one of the top decks, top 5, probably, but kind of under the radar, I feel like. And then
yeah, well, it's been a couple seasonals now that it's been good. Almost been like good. 3, I think.
Mm-hmm. I don't know. I don't ever have a problem with this deck. I've never felt like it needed to get nerfed.
What do you think the Kai'Sa matchup is like for it now? Do you think it's better now that it can kind of like
Absolutely, 'cause-
interact a little bit more?
Yeah, because you don't have
I mean,
to
it's
walk
definitely
into
better,
the
but-
hourglass. You can like pass and then Vengeance Kai'Sa on that turn because they have to slow speed second skin. And if they just supercharge Kai'Sa, it's like not as scary because then you could just shoot the unit they're second skinning, right? Plus
Yeah.
it's 4 mana now. So it's like, yeah, the matchup got better. Do I think it's like a fantastic matchup? I don't know, probably not. I haven't played it recently. But yeah, it definitely got better.
Yeah, you do have to still deal with A-bombs.
Yes.
Turn is very good.
Pretty good. Any other super notable ones, or should I talk about some other stuff that I've been playing?
Okay, real quick, I'll just kind of rattle off some of those here if you want to talk about them. Team of Twisted Fate, which I think is
Ping City,
it's,
Pirates,
Monkeys.
Monkeys. That's what I meant,
a
yeah.
solid 49%. Echo Zillion at a solid 51%.
It's seeing a
percentage.
lot of Echo Zillion.
It's always been right there, and Zillion just got that buff, I think, right?
Yes.
We'll say it's a buff.
Yeah, we'll say it's buff.
But again, 51% win rate. We'll see. Aziralia, 49% win percentage right now. What do you make of this?
So I think Aziralia struggles against a lot of just decks. Just random decks. Like
Yeah.
So there's decks like Kai'Sa beats shit. Just beats things. Just like that style of deck. Kai'Sa Akshan was always this deck. Tri-beam, right?
Yeah.
Like these decks they're just better than what you're doing for the most part. Like they're just strong pound for pound decks. So they beat random piles. Aziralia is a finely tuned machine to beat a specific type of deck. It beats a deck that can either interact with it very well or that plays one card a turn and you bounce it and you kill them. Aziralia loses to piles.
Yes.
So yeah, right now there's a lot of piles on ladder. Just random stuff.
Yeah, and we also lost Thralls as one of its main
Prey
decks to prey on. Yeah.
Yeah. I think it'll be bounced back. I think you'll see the win rate go up.
Though is like slow. I don't know.
It'll increase.
I don't know if it will. Because I think it depends, like you say, on those decks that it needs those specific decks to be good against. Because it's not even that great against Darkness. It seems like that would be a really good matchup. It's not actually that amazing.
Mm-hmm.
Matchup's not nearly as good as you think it would be. And then just we hit Bartolawi, Deep, Feel the Rush. Nothing with super high win percentage. Everything at 50 or below, which is kind of crazy.
Yeah.
Scouts at 58%, way down to number 26.
Are you really surprised?
Matches.
It's a new patch. Scouts, come on. Yeah, whatever.
I think Scouts is going to be good, though. That makes me sad.
Yeah, I mean, whenever Scouts is good, I usually start playing Tri-Beam again. Or just start playing Sentry Flock decks. And that's always nice.
And so the thing that I really want to point out though is that there's those handful of decks. Got Pirates, Kai'Sa, Heimerdinger Jayce, Deep, and I don't know, Caitlyn Trundle are around 53 to 58%, and then everything else is 51 to 50. You also have Nami Twisted Fate, Ezreal Kennen are in there, but so many of the decks have really really low win rates that I don't know. I wonder what are lineups gonna look like?
Yeah, I mean, I kind of ignore the data for the first day. Everyone's just playing crap, right?
Yeah. So obviously the old stuff that's tuned is gonna crush.
Yeah, exactly. Anyone who's not playing something out there is just gonna win. They're gonna win quite a bit. So yeah, I would wait till we're recording this Thursday. I'd wait till the data comes in from Friday and Saturday. And that is probably a lot closer to what your meta is actually going to look like. About, one day for people to get the wiggles out, try everything. The second day for people to start actually thinking about what's good. The third day for people to start finding it. And the fourth day for people to start tuning it. And that's about where you get your actual meta.
Yeah, no, I totally agree. Okay, what did you want to touch on?
I was just going to say I've tried a few decks. I tried Karma Victor again. It did not quite work, but Victor's a strong champ. right now. If we could find a decent Victor deck, I think that could be pretty solid. Like a PNZ Targon could like still absolutely be a shell. It just might not be as aggressive as it was before. More mid-ranging style, even with Winding Light, maybe 2 up top, right? Aphelios Victor kind of thing, as we were playing before, could still be very, very powerful.
Where is the? I would just assume that it would be like the Winding Light nerf isn't like that big.
Yeah, it's not the biggest thing on the planet. And that deck's good, but the Boom 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 nerf hurts.
That's right.
But I think the deck's still like very good, and you can pivot into other 2-drops if you really want to, or just not focus as hard on like going wide as early as and hard as possible because the Winding Light nerf. So I expect that deck to pop back up. I expect quite a few kind of things we forgot about to start doing pretty good. Darkness being one of the examples.
On a Viego.
Yeah, we could see some Viego. Maybe like the Noxus Viego comes back. Who knows?
Are there any good Karma decks? I've seen a bunch of them running around out there now. I've not played any good Karma. I have not played Karma,
really.
Sorry.
No. Not really.
I wanted to be good so badly.
Yeah, I mean, Ezreal Karma is like in such a bad spot because it's so hard to level your Ezreal before Karma levels. And like Ezreal Karma hasn't been good for so long because your removal just like it's just not as good. Like units are just better and your removal hasn't really gotten like that much better.
It's Spooky Karma.
I haven't played Spooky Karma, but Gohard's been so bad for so long that I'm not really sure it's really that good. Yeah.
What about like just different Aphelios piles?
I think Aphelios piles are probably okay. I think like PNZ Targon is still probably very strong. You could probably play random Aphelios piles. The pure Invoke ones are like struggling. Game's just faster. It's just faster now.
Yeah.
Right? Solari Priestess into Comet doesn't quite do it the way it used to.
Yep. What about Nami TF? Like, this is a deck that's always it was just like one of the best decks a couple seasons ago or last season. And
Tentacle Smash nerf is pretty big. I expect the deck to still be good.
That's true.
But like people are just trying new things. So like I'm trying not to like weigh into anything too much because everyone's trying new things right now. Like I said, we're gonna wait, maybe see another day, and then I'll probably pick one deck and I'll try to grind a top 10. That's my plan.
Yeah, fair enough.
That's about all I have, unless you had something else you want to talk about today. We start wrapping it up. We'll have a lot more to go over. Well, I mean, I'll be in France next week.
That's right. We'll have to substitute some sort of Aikido type situation for you.
Sounds good.
Okay, buddy. Well, we'll say goodnight. Make sure you come play in the $500 free entry tournament that we have on Saturday morning, GG Tour. Wish Majiin luck over at the Flesh and Blood Pro Tour.
He's going to need it.
I will see all of you guys next week. And man, I can't believe Cecil is here so soon. Wild. All right. Take care. God bless. See you later. Peace.